So what we'd like to do today is just give you a pretty good overview and then dive deep into what we think the opportunity is for tax credits. Those of you that are investors, those of you that are developers, those of you that are CPAs, those of you that are attorneys, those of you that are involved in the industry, we do see a lot of opportunity for RAD to work with tax credits. And the reason for that basically is what we think of as the RAD opportunity. At bottom, what we're talking about doing is putting into play 600 plus new Section 8 contracts to help preserve the public housing inventory, to extend the life of a good and deserving mod rehab projects, and to provide subsidy that will be terminating for rents up and RAP projects. So we'll go through the details of that, but again, the bottom line here is 600 new long-term Section 8 contracts are available to go into play for these uses, and I'm not sure that I've heard anyone else at HUD say that in the last 20 years. So that's where we start. The next slide gives us a little bit of an overview of why we're doing this. Those of you that have been following this for a few years know our earlier iteration, TRA, and then we had a subsequent iteration, PETRA, that some people started to affectionately refer to as People for the Ethical Treatment of Rental Assistance. And then we had RHRA, and then all of a sudden we had RAD. We said, well, why not just rental assistance demonstration, and maybe everyone could understand that. But the reason that the Secretary and the stakeholders out there have been so determined to do this is really, I think, captured on this slide. We have a public housing inventory of about 1.1 million units. There are 3,100 public housing authorities across the country. Across that inventory, we've documented time and again, but recently we've had a capital needs study that shows we've got about a $26 billion backlog in needed capital repairs just to keep that public housing inventory up. And part of the reason for that, those of you that have been involved with public housing over the years, you know that the Section 9 or public housing platform, the whole set of laws and regulations that fund and regulate public housing has really proven to be an unreliable funding stream over the years due to having to prorate the allocations due to what Congress may offer us in any one year outright appropriation cuts. We also have certain limitations on the Section 9 platform about our ability to access debt and equity because of what is known as the Declaration of Trust, which is basically a way of saying we can't pledge our assets. You cannot pledge a public housing property on Section 9 as a form of collateral, and that causes all kinds of havoc. As a result of these problems over time, and these are figures from the last 10 years, we've been losing 10 to 15,000 hard units of public housing each year. And so our sense of all this with the Secretary and stakeholders is it's unconscionable to let this happen without trying to do something different about it. And here you have why we have pushed for the rental assistance demonstration.